Motorola just unveiled its new premium Edge series, and while we wait for the flagship Edge 50 Ultra to be released, we thought it would be interesting to compare the mid-range Motorola Edge 50 Pro against the beast that is Samsung's newest S24 Ultra. Of course, we're talking about two very different pricing points here, with the Edge 50 Pro priced at €699 and the S24 Ultra at €1,569 for the same amount of storage and RAM. You can get two Motorola Edge 50 Pros for the price of one S24 Ultra. When we compared these two phones, we discovered that they are more similar in certain ways than one might expect given the price gap. After reading all of the parts below, you'll understand the areas we're talking about. One important element to notice is that Motorola has yet to announce a US version of the Edge 50 Pro or any of the other Edge 50 variants for that matter. On the other hand, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, S24, and S24 Plus are all available internationally. According to the design and display quality, the first thing most people notice when comparing these two phones side by side is the size difference. The Galaxy S24 Ultra is a huge phone that, while is around the same length, is somewhat thicker and notably broader than the Motorola Edge 50 Pro. It is also significantly heavier, thanks to its glass back panel, bigger battery, and fourth periscope telescopic camera on the rear. Fortunately, the frame is constructed of titanium, which reduces weight significantly because it is a considerably lighter metal than the aluminum used on most other phones, including the Edge 50 Pro. Both cameras look to have done an excellent job here. The main noticeable difference is how the two handled the balance of highlights and shadows, with the Edge 50 Pro choosing to brighten the darker area and show more of the motorcycle, whereas the S24 Ultra has a more natural look, with the bite casting a shadow from the harsh afternoon sun. In low-light circumstances, like this gloomy room, the Motorola Edge 50 Pro seems crisper. It is particularly evident on the table and around the seal. When using optical 3x magnification, the telephoto camera on the S24 Ultra delivers higher clarity, a more balanced contrast, and even more accurate colors than the Edge 50 Pro. However, you have to pixel peep to spot the difference. Thus, the Edge 50 Pro's telephoto camera works admirably for a phone in this price bracket. We assume that the Galaxy's noise reduction is a little too severe, which is why the shot seems blurry in certain spots. You can tell that the Edge 50 Pro has a lot more noise in the photo. In other words, this might be more of a personal preference scenario. Aside from the aluminum frame, the Edge 50 Pro's rear panel is made of either silicon or pearl acetate, which is most likely one of the reasons it weighs almost 50 grams less. So in short, Qualcomm's finest flagship chipset is twice, if not more, competent than its best mid-range chipset. The Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is definitely in a class of its own. That is not to argue that the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 is a terrible chipset. Rather, its performance is more than enough for the majority of consumers. In terms of storage, the Edge 50 Pro only has 512 GB, but the S24 Ultra has 256 GB, 512 GB, and 1 TB. In addition, UFS 4.0 storage is significantly more power efficient and faster than UFS 2.2 storage on the Motorola. While the S24 Ultra also takes the cake in terms of software support, with 7 years of Android updates and security patches, compared to the Edge 50 Pro's 3 years of Android updates and 4 years of security patches. The Galaxy S24 Ultra, a high-end Samsung flagship, is equipped with the most powerful Android CPU available at the moment, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. The Motorola Edge 50 Pro is a mid-range device equipped with the finest mid-range CPU available today, the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3. The benchmark results show the performance difference between these two chipsets. However, keep in mind that both phones feel snappy and fully competent. Of course, the S24 Ultra has far greater power, which is particularly noticeable in more demanding mobile games and productivity software like Photoshop, Lightroom, and CapCut. Both phones contain 12 GB of RAM. However, the S24 Ultra has LPDDR5X, which is approximately 1.5x quicker than the Edge 50 Pro's LPDDR4X. Now the big question is, which one should you buy? Well, listen, there are probably not that many people out there wondering whether they should purchase the S24 Ultra or Motorola's latest high-tier mid-range Edge 50 Pro. Our point here was to have a bit of fun and see how large the gap, and not only in terms of price, between these two phones is. Despite the rather odd comparison, we had a few happy surprises that showed us a phone of the Edge 50 Pro's caliber can cover a lot of what a flagship, such as the S24 Ultra, is capable of. Of course, there are some glaring performance and hardware differences, but it is awesome that you can get a phone that covers all the basics this well for about half the price. In essence, phones like the Motorola Edge 50 Pro represent what flagships used to be a few years back. The phrase flagship simply describes something much more than just a list of high-end specs these days. So if you are trying to choose between these two phones, it boils down to whether or not you need the 7 years of software support, a stylus, and the S24 Ultra's flagship processor. If those three things are not as important, then the Edge 50 Pro quite honestly has you covered for the most part. So if you're in the market for a new phone, be sure to keep these factors in mind before making your final decision. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates and reviews on the latest tech releases. Thanks for watching. Then I will see you in the next one.